Happy morning everyone. I am Dr. Nancy from the Department of English, Bishop Heber College. Today we are going to see something very interesting, and this particular topic is idioms. Now every one of us in our daily life would have come across idioms, and we can see what idioms are. They are phrases that are generally different words put together, though these words individually have different meaning, when put together as a phrase have a whole different meaning. Now idioms might seem like a very tricky thing, and it is often used in spoken conversation and very little in written scripts. Well, now there are different kinds of idioms, like idioms that relate to food, holiday, weather and animals and so on. It is in very interesting topic, and as we move on into it, today we will just see on two topics alone, animals, and so there are different kinds of idioms, like the idioms relate to animals, weather, holiday, businesses and so on. So today we are going to concentrate on just two idioms which relate to animals and food. So these kind of idioms, to tell you, have a very important and plays a very vital role in expressing yourself. They help to enhance the way you speak English, and if you do plan to study for your IELTS exam or the PTA English exams, these kind of phrases will help to enhance your quality of English speaking. We'll move on to the next part of it, animal idioms. So the first one is, it's raining cats and dogs. I know it does sound a bit funny, but raining cats and dogs does not really mean cats and dogs are falling out of the sky. Rather, it means that it's raining heavily. And let's say, for example, we have to cancel the meeting because it's raining cats and dogs. Okay, so that is how you use it in a phrase, in a particular sentence. Now let's move on to the next idiom, let the cat out of the bag. A very common idiom. It does not mean a cat is coming out of a bag, rather it means to reveal a secret. So for example, let's think of sentences which you can use for this particular idiom. For instance, Sheila let the cat out of the bag. It means Sheila revealed the secret. Now in terms of a question, you can ask the very same idiom, who let the cats out of the bag? Now let's move on to another way of asking the same idiom in an apology. For instance, you can say, I'm sorry, I let the cat out of the bag. It means like, I'm sorry, I revealed the secret. So that is how these different kinds of idioms are used. We'll move on to the next one, a fish out of water. So a fish out of water doesn't exactly mean that a fish fell out of the water. Rather, it's to say that you are in a very different situation from the normal situation. You feel uncomfortable in a particular situation. So for example, let's say that the first day you have come to college, you might feel a little like a fish out of water. Let's say, for an instance, in an example, Tom felt like a fish out of water on entering the college campus. So on the very first day, you feel a little out of place. So let's move on to the food idioms. Now I know everyone would be interested in knowing what these food idioms are. Let's move on to the first one, a piece of cake. A piece of cake means something very easy. So we'll move on to the food idiom. I know it's something very interesting to learn about food, and even food relates to certain idioms, like the very first one, a piece of cake. It's really nice to taste a piece of cake. So it's somewhat similar to that. A piece of cake means to do something very easily. Let's say learning English is like a piece of cake. So something that comes to you very easily can be referred to as a piece of cake. Let's move on to the next one, to put all the eggs in one basket. You can see how this man is having a difficult time carrying all the eggs, and if it falls down, everything breaks. So it is in terms of investment wherein you put all your money into one particular investment, and if it goes bankrupt, you have lost all your money. That is what it actually means. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Let's say, for an example, in a sentence, my uncle put all the eggs in one basket when he invested in a Nokia phone, the phone company, which actually becomes the next idiom, to put all the eggs in one basket. You can see the picture here, which shows a man carrying all the eggs in one basket, and if he trips, it all breaks. So in the same way, to put all your eggs in one basket means you put all your investments or energy and time into one thing, and if it collapses, you lose everything. In the same way, let's say, for an example, in a sentence, you can say, like, for example, my uncle invested in a company that became bankrupt. So he had actually put all his eggs in one basket. Here eggs refers to the money. So in the same way, you can take it in terms of career or in terms of time. Okay, let's move on to the next one, the last slide, to be in a pickle. What does it mean to be in a pickle? It means you're in a very difficult situation. Let's say that you have a rent that needs to be paid, and if you can say in the sentence, for example, if I don't get paid by Friday, I'll be in a pickle. So it means that you are in a very difficult situation. So you can use these different kinds of idioms in different appropriate places, and it would actually help to enhance your English language. And I hope it had been a very useful session for you. It was nice to teach you these different kinds of idioms. Thank you.